She served coffee with swollen ankles and a forced smile, until one note changed everything. The diner was always cold in the mornings. Amanda wrapped her arms around her growing belly as she walked in at 5:30 a.m., her breath fogging in the winter air. The overnight frost still clung to the windows, but she had no choice. Rent was due, and diapers weren't going to buy themselves. At 26 and 7 months pregnant, she'd learned to carry trays with one hand and balance exhaustion with the other. Her boyfriend had left the day she told him she was pregnant. "I'm not ready to be a dad," was all he said, before slamming the apartment door behind him, leaving her alone with a tiny sonogram picture and a mountain of bills. Since then, Amanda had worked every shift she could. Her feet ached constantly. Some customers were kind, most weren't. But she kept going, driven by the tiny heartbeat inside her. That morning felt no different, until a stranger walked in. He sat at booth 9. Amanda noticed him because he didn't look at his phone or a menu. He just watched people, calm, thoughtful, older. His eyes followed her gently as she moved around the room. He smiled when she approached. "Coffee," she offered, not bothering to hide the fatigue in her voice. He nodded. "Black, please. And whatever breakfast you'd recommend." She gave a polite nod and returned with coffee and the trucker's special. The cheapest, most filling plate they served. He said thank you with a warmth that caught her off guard. She didn't linger. She had 5 other tables. But she noticed he didn't rush. He seemed content to just be there, sipping coffee, watching the world spin. Maybe he needed the peace like she did. Maybe he saw something in her eyes she didn't see in herself. Half an hour passed. He finished his meal, gave her a quiet thank you, and walked out. No fanfare, no small talk. Just a folded napkin left neatly on the edge of the table with the receipt and cash inside. Amanda walked over, expecting a couple dollars in tip, if anything. But when she opened the napkin, her knees buckled. She dropped the tray in her hand, clattering plates and silverware to the floor. Her eyes filled with tears. The note read, "You remind me of my daughter. She was strong like you. Life didn't treat her kindly, but she never gave up. You're going to be a wonderful mother. I hope this helps. Don't ever think you're alone in this world." Inside the napkin was 10 crisp 100 bills. $1,000. Amanda gasped, covering her mouth. Her legs gave way and she collapsed into the booth. Her co-workers rushed over, asking if she was okay. She held out the note with shaking hands. They read it, stunned into silence. No one saw him leave. No one got his name. Booth 9 was just empty now. But to Amanda it had become sacred. She cried in that booth for 10 minutes, not from sadness but release. Someone saw her, really saw her. Not just a tired waitress or pregnant girl or forgotten name on a tag, but a woman trying her hardest. A future mother giving everything she had. That note didn't just help her pay the rent. It helped her breathe again. For the first time in months, she believed she could do this. Not because of the money, but because someone had reminded her she was worth believing in. That night, Amanda went home and taped the note above her bed. She stared at it until she fell asleep. The money helped her buy a crib, stock up on groceries, and even pay part of the hospital deposit. But it was the message that changed her. She walked differently, smiled a little easier, even when her water broke unexpectedly 2 months later and she delivered her baby boy early. She held onto that note like a lifeline. She named him Ryan. She didn't know if that was the man's name, but it felt right. A quiet tribute to the stranger who lifted her when she was on her knees. Years passed. Amanda never forgot. She became a nurse eventually, raising Ryan on her own. Every night she told him stories of kindness, of strength, of people who show up when you least expect them. When Ryan turned 10, she handed him the napkin. The ink had faded slightly, but the words still glowed like fire. One day, she said, "You'll help someone the way he helped me." So if you're watching this, wondering if your small act of kindness matters, it does. You may not leave a note in a napkin, but a smile, a gentle word, a moment of grace. It changes lives. Amanda didn't fall to her knees because of the money. She fell because someone believed in her when she couldn't believe in herself. Let's be that someone for someone else. If this story touched your heart, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Every story we tell is a reminder that kindness still exists, and you never know whose life it might change.